up, guys? Welcome to another edition of the Wrestling Pulse. I'm Trevor McCormick. I am J-Man. We're here, guys, to our WWE WrestleMania 31 preview coming this Sunday on the WWE Network for only $9.99. Again, people that pay fucking $65 for this pay-per-view is absolutely insane.
And you only get to watch it once.
Exactly. Yeah, so we're to Mania, obviously the biggest show of the year. Every wrestling fan's Christmas. Definitely ours. Just a whole lot to say. And as you see by the time in the video of how long this lasted, yeah, we had a lot to say. Want to first start off by apologizing for not putting anything out since Fastlane. I don't know if it's busy, laziness, probably a combination of both. More on the side of laziness.
And hockey.
And yeah, that goddamn hockey game that's so fucking entertaining. NHL, or not, what is it? I think it's NHL 15. Just go get that shit. Fucking awesome. But yeah, we're just stuck down in the dungeon of Hockey Land lately, so we just want to play that. So, I mean, can you blame us? Kyle can. He's a big video game guy, so you can't blame us. I know that. Is he still watching? Is he here?
Here?
I think he's here.
Did you meet Bill Cosby?
God damn it. So yeah, I've got lots to talk about here. Just kind of general thoughts. On paper, writing this down, I'm looking forward to a lot of this. I know a lot of people over when it comes to wrestling talk and stuff like that. A lot of people are just totally disinterested in this, disinterested in a lot of things. Are there things that, yeah, I would want different? Absolutely. Namely the main event, which is huge, which I think has a big thing to do with, in my opinion, being something that is a huge problem with this WrestleMania, which is that it is quite possibly the worst built WrestleMania in recent memory and that I could possibly remember. There's no luster feel to it. There's no spectacle feel to it. There's no big hype feel to it. Are you talking about
the main event or just everything?
The main event has a huge thing to do with it. It obviously has a huge thing to do with it because it's just one of the most, oh God, just on paper and what's been going on in recent memory and with how they built it, it's just atrocious. So with that being at the forefront, it makes this WrestleMania one of the worst built WrestleManias that I have ever seen in the 15 plus years that I've watched professional wrestling. There's that special feel where every single Raw you get into and every single thing that you look forward to seeing, you are hyped for it because you want to see how it continues to build and how that ladder, we continue to get to that, WrestleMania, WrestleMania time. So as things get going, the building blocks start to get set up, going towards WrestleMania, and it just hasn't worked right. The blocks haven't fit, the pieces aren't right. It just doesn't. I don't know. But again, on paper, I think there could be some really, really solid stuff here. When you just look at a lot of the undercard matches they have going on here, the bigness of the bigger matches that they have, because a lot of it is to do out of the big three, matches that you have as far as the marquee type matches, 3 of the 6 names are guys that are obviously towards the tail end of their careers, even probably a 4th guy would be towards the tail end of the career if you add in Lesnar as well, which I would definitely say is towards the tail end of his career. But that's 4 of 6 in your big marquee matches. You have is obviously the names that are the established ones that you won't be seeing for years and years to come. Obviously, that's a huge portion of wrestling fans' problems that they have is the push of younger talent, and the 2 guys that are younger talent that are in the big marquee matches. One of them we're all for and is going to be great going into the future, and one of them is a giant fucking question mark, and we have no idea what's going to be seen in his future because it's just been handed to him and shoved down his throat. I wonder if you guys can think who we're talking about there. You're going to find out. But again, it's WrestleMania. WrestleMania sells WrestleMania. That's what I will always say. So I don't care what the hell people are going to say. All the people that say it's going to be shit are going to be glued to the fucking screen watching it. So all those hypocrites can shut the fuck up because you're going to be there sitting watching it, as we will, because we will be enjoyed by what we love, which is professional wrestling. And
starting at noon.
Starting at fucking when we wake up. But yeah, as far as what we look forward to, which is the love that we have for professional wrestling ever since I was a kid, this is the day we always look forward to, which is WrestleMania. So no matter the this or that, the little armchair bookers that you have here and there that think that this should be this way and this should be that way. Yeah, things should be different, and things we can only wish for to be different. But guess what? You're going to sit there, you're going to be entertained for the fucking 6 goddamn hours they'll have TV for whatever the hell's going on here with the 4 o'clock for us. The 2-hour pre-show starting at 4 o'clock here, and then WrestleMania starting at 6. So we're going to be glued. No matter what goes down, this or that, we're going to be entertained, and I'm hyped for it. I know everybody else. I know Kwai can speak for himself. It's WrestleMania, so, I mean, we're eyes glued. So it's going to be some good stuff, hopefully, that we'll be seeing here with a portion of this card, and some of this stuff, hopefully, will deliver and exceed our expectations. Starting this out, we just got on my app, like we're fucking CNN over here, we just got information that the Andre the Giant...
During prep.
Yeah, during prep. That the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal will now be added to the kickoff show, which again is 2 hours fucking long. A tradition for all the Pulse boys and for me for years and years is always to watch last year's WrestleMania the day of the current WrestleMania. So we'll be having to start that at probably 7 o'clock in the morning just to fucking get on top of when WrestleMania starts this year, because the 2-hour pre-show and then the 4-hour show, I wouldn't change it for a fucking second, because again, it's a spectacle. You look at the Super Bowl, goddamn pre-show starts at that at fucking 8 o'clock in the morning. So I mean, that's what it should be. It should be the spectacle that gets a different treatment, and that's what WrestleMania has always gotten. So the first one here, start kicking off the original pre-show, which was the Fatal 4-Way for the WWE Tag Titles with champion Cesaro and Tyson Kidd going up against the Usos, Los Matadores, and the New Day. Again, this will be your kind of short. They've had these like triple threat and 4-way type matches that you've seen in the tag. A lot of tag title matches kicking off pre-shows at WrestleMania over the past 5 or 6 years or so. It's very spotty. It's very just trying to get the crowd hot. That's probably what you'll see here. It won't be any function of a wrestling match. Then again, they have 2 fucking hours, so they could give this some time, obviously. But again, it'll probably be more than likely a lot of spotty type things. You have a lot of spotty type, talent in here with the New Day, which will probably be Kofi and Xavier Woods, Matadores, and obviously the Usos as well.
No, it's Xavier Wood and Biggie.
Is it?
Yeah.
God, just
I
fucking
think that's what it
retards.
said.
What is Kofi in the Battle Royal then? I don't. Who fucking knows? Who gives a shit? It's the fucking New Day. But yeah, so, nothing really well built here. It's just you had all these fucking teams thrown in there. It looked like they were going to put it on the main card. It didn't deserve to be on the main card, to be totally honest with you. And it's sad because it's the tag titles. And there are talent in here. I mean, the Usos is one of the best, tag champions we've seen in recent memory. And Cesaro and Tyson Kidd have talent for days and days. So, hopefully we'll get something more than what we normally get with, a kickoff tag title type match at WrestleMania where it's a bunch of spots and this and that. I look for this to be, obviously a good starter to the show to get the crowd hot, like, I was saying. Winner, I have no idea.
According to Wikipedia, they don't even have it on here anymore.
Yeah, they do. It's up top. Maybe. No, maybe. Who cares? They'll probably have it somewhere on here. I mean, if they do. We were just looking at it 5 seconds ago and had it on. Who fucking knows? But yeah, winner, it's either going to be a retain or it's going to go to the Usos. Either way, it really makes no difference.
I see Cesaro and Tyson Kidd retaining. Like J-Man said, since I didn't get a chance to talk about my Mania.
You go ahead and talk about... I'm sorry, you could have broke in.
After last year's fucking adventure of fucking going to Mania, which was fucking... I would do again in a heartbeat, which probably next year...
It's just insane that it's already a year.
We'll probably go again next year, but But just the whole aspect of being down there, it's just... Words will not describe it. You can try to, but it's just more of you have to be there. And then just watching it live in front of you and all the history that was there and all that shit. But it's going to be one of those days where you're just like, you've been prepping for it. And it's crazy to say, like J-Man just said, it's been a year. And we were just talking about this at Fastlane of how Mania is going to be like, oh man, Mania's like 4 weeks away. It's going to be, no, it flew by. So.
Yeah, dude.
Start with this pre-show. 2 hours is a lot of time. And I just question to see if they're going to start repeating themselves and it's just going to be like a rerun of shit. Or if they're going to actually have 2 hours worth of crap. With both of these matches being in there, and J-Man probably will agree with me, 7 matches in the WrestleMania card is kind of...
Crazy.
Kind of on the light side, but
yeah.
You also have the bunch of performances and Hall of Fame and all that shit, so it's going to even itself out.
Yeah.
Winning this match, like I said, I see Tyson Kidd and Cesaro winning it. Usos would be the only one. Everybody else is just kind of a filler. You just needed somebody else to make it some kind of spectacle. If it's Big E and fucking Xavier Woods, that's gonna be horrific.
Jesus.
But Kofi Kingston, I believe I read he was in that
Battle
Royal, so
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, again, just to get a bunch of the names on the card. That's what, this next matchup is great for doing now, and it looks like it's going to be a tradition, which is the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which is now being added on to the pre-show as we start the kickoff show that we just saw. Which, again, I think is an absolutely outstanding use of getting extra talent that usually wouldn't get a singles type match or thrown in a tag match. It's a great use for it. You have the good name that's a part of it, and you could start to build a tradition, and you could start to build a legacy towards this matchup as something, hey, people want to go in there and win. I think Cesaro did a great job of building that mystique of, a great battle royal, which, is fun to see. It's not usually one you just get a bunch of fucking people just throwing people. It's not the Royal Rumble, obviously. It's just a battle royal. So I think Cesaro did a great job of playing up the mystique of old school type battle royals of, being the guy that's a new generation version of what you would normally see in a battle royal, which is an Andre the Giant or, a Big John Studd or, those big fucking dudes that go in there.
Big John Studd.
Hey, man.
That's
throwing out some shit right there. That's throwing out some shit right there. Of being like the big dudes that, normally dominate in the battle royal. Or the first ever Royal Rumble winner as well, which was?
Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
There you go, Quaddy with the knowledge. Dropping the knowledge bomb. That was pretty legit, too. That was spot on. Good job. We'll just get you a 2x4. You'll be in it. Which, the new generation version of that, which is Cesaro, who's just a plain brick shithouse as far as strength and everything, and picking up Big Show and taking him over the ropes. I mean, that was a great moment that we got to see live at WrestleMania 30. So I think building on that, continuing that throughout the years to come at WrestleMania, again, a good spot filler for guys that normally wouldn't get on the card at WrestleMania. You could have your little spots here and there. And as a good use to, focus your kind of secondary and, lower end card kind of feuds you got going on. One obviously being with Miz and Sandow. You have a lot of stuff going on here that's been going on for far fucking too long. You finally had the Miz, turn on Sandow, kind of, I guess you want to say it, doing the Skull Crush finale a couple weeks ago, and then just keeps coming out. It's just beyond tired and fucking stale, and it just needs a fucking finish, which probably fucking hopefully we're going to finish here in this Battle Royal. One awesome thing that I like what they're doing here is they're holding a tournament on the Access weekend with NXT guys. And the winner of that tournament will be our participant in the Memorial Battle Royal here. So I think that's awesome. That's a great use of talent that, a lot of people go out of their way, NXT obviously go out of their way and check that out. So it's great to see them involving NXT in here. Would have loved to see just an exclusive NXT type match at WrestleMania. Could have fucking stole the show, whatever talent they put on there with the higher end talent they have in NXT right now. So cool to see that. I think the names that are being, I think it was Finn Balor's in it. I think Owens is in it. I think Sami Zayn's in it. So, I mean, pretty much all the top talent. Adrian Neville's in it. So all the top talent is really in there. Probably a Finn Balor would probably end up winning that, just so you could see that elaborate fucking entrance in a WrestleMania type, atmosphere. Would be pretty sick to see that. But really anything you get out of that, the talent in NXT, you can't go wrong. What else we got here? Curtis Axel. Axelmania is running wild, still in the Royal Rumble after 40-something days, however fucking long it's been. I think the stuff with him has been hilarious. He's been getting over by doing absolutely ridiculous things, and well, good for him. Because obviously it wasn't working with just being Curtis Axel. So doing this shit and having Hogan come out and that whole segment with Snoop Dogg was absolutely retarded. But Curtis Axel just making an ass out of himself and entertaining himself and is entertaining us. So I found it fucking hella entertaining with what he was doing. It's really nothing going on there. But if you're going to go out there and, either be forgotten or make something out of it, he's at least making something out of it. And it's pretty fucking entertaining shit. The little countdown thing they had on there. And I think every time they put the countdown up, he fucked up by saying it. He was like, now in it for 30 hours. And it ended up being 30 days. It was at that time where he fucked it up. So that's pretty funny. But to me, I think the likelihood has been the idea of having Sheamus return in the Battle Royal here. I've been thinking that for quite some time, ever since they started putting the vignettes up and he hadn't come out on TV. and he hasn't been, talked about any other kind of angles and storyline stuff like that. To me, you could just shove him in here as the last entrant coming out and the surprise winner, or surprise entrant, not really so much a surprise, but coming in here and winning that Under the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Be a good push for him coming back in. Not the biggest Sheamus fan, but over the past couple of years, obviously when he got in the ring with Dana Bryan's and the Del Rios and those kind of guys, put on some great work and was definitely improving in ring. He has a lot of signs of what Cena did when he first came in and really wasn't anything in the ring and started to gain people's respect and started to put on good work and work with good guys and started to get under his feet and started to come into his own. That's a lot like what I'm seeing with Sheamus. So you look at the years to come, I think could really provide some great work. So to me, I'm looking like it's going to be Sheamus. The other ones talking about fucking Ryback and all that kind of, just who gives a shit? I think Kane and Big Show are in there. Again, spot filler, get all the guys that aren't on the card. But to me, I'm going with the return of Sheamus when winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
I agree with J-Man on this. Having something in there for like Andre the Giant or some big name like that was well past his prime. And then like J-Man, also agree with J-Man with getting these names on the card. Like Big Show wouldn't be on the card, Kane wouldn't be on the card. You wouldn't have a standout or Miz. You wouldn't have a chance for somebody to debut from NXT or a Sheamus return or something like that. So it's well needed. Wish it would have been on the regular show because that's always so much entertainment. I see Standout winning this. I just see him and Miz coming down to the end or him and somebody else coming down to the end and him winning this and just pushing him. He's already getting pushed to the moon just for him being him. So. Bring him back to the old standout we had before, and let's see what we can do with it.
Yep, and hopefully we'll get some good stuff out of the Battle Royal there. Next up, well, I guess this would now be the official card, which wouldn't be the order because I ordered it a completely different way. But again, as Quaddy mentioned, 7 matches now on the official card for starting the 4-hour WrestleMania. That's crazy. Obviously, you're gonna have that's normal match amount you'd see at a regular show. But again, you're going to have so many extra type things, the backstage segments and the performances. I can't remember who fucking knows is performing. You'll have a special type appearances.
Big John does.
Who gives a shit? You'll have the celebrities and shit like that, the Hall of Famers, the Hall of Fame panel or introduction of all the inductees and shit like that. So you'll have plenty of spot fillers, not to mention the video packages and this and that. So.
And entrances.
And the extended amount of time, because, you look at, the last couple of WrestleMania, just in WrestleMania in general, and, especially with the bigger shows that have gotten the 4 hours, you get, 3 to 4 matches that get over 20 minutes. So that's always great to see. You get the extended match times for stuff that can breathe and give matches time to, really flourish and come into a great spectacle and epic type matchup. So that's always good. That's what I always want to see whenever you see 7 matches. Like, shit, I hope a lot of these things get some time. So starting the official card off, we have a tag team matchup here. The Divas in action. We have Paige and AJ going up against the Bella Twins. Paige and AJ, I think, coming up with, I think they had 2 names they were trying to think of their tag name, either White and Nerdy or Freaks and Geeks. I love both of them. Fits perfectly. Either one, cool with me. I'm okay with this. I'm fine with it. You're not fucking bringing in Maria Menounos. You're not bringing in Snooki. You're not bringing in some bullshit that no one gives 2 fucks about. Again, no one really gives 2 fucks about this, but you're not making it to where we're going to have to shit on it for reasons outside of just not giving, talented women opportunity to, go in there and put on some good matches, because you have talented women that could go out there and put on some good matches, especially, at a WrestleMania. Obviously, Nikki's still running with the title. I didn't know if they're going to maybe do a 4-way, if they're going to bring some talent up from NXT, possibly with Charlotte dropping the title down in NXT, possibly her coming up. Paige and AJ. AJ just coming back, got a huge pop. I think it was in her hometown in New Jersey. So that was cool. That was a cool moment coming in and saving Paige, and Paige and her now having sort of dissension caused a week before WrestleMania. Whatever, I'm fine with this. I really have no problems with it. Again, I'm happy they just didn't add in some bullshit that we don't need at all. Winner, I don't know. I'll go with, Paige and AJ. Who gives a shit? Again, hopefully we can get the title back on one of those 2 and start seeing, some more solid, women's type matches going into the future. But I'm fine with this. And as far as, Divas involvement in WrestleMania, it's cool with me. Paige and AJ, I guess I'll go with the win.
What's your opinion on Divas involvement in Hall of Fame?
If it's the right people, then I have no problem with it. I have absolutely no problem with it.
Good guy.
What are you talking about?
Eva Marie.
Oh, yeah. Let me get that out of the way real fucking quick. We didn't, unfortunately, talk about a lot of the Hall of Fame. Obviously, you got Macho. Nash was in there.
Rikishi.
Bushwhackers. Rikishi. Okay. Who is still alive, by the way. Who else is there? There's they're doing that thing for the kid who died of cancer, which I think is cool. That's a cool little moment. Adding in Warrior's name to him getting inducted to the Hall of Fame and then dying like fucking 3 days later, which is crazy. You got the goddamn Japanese dude, and I can't think of his fucking name. And then you got Ash, Bushwhackers, Savage, that kid, Japanese dude. Fuck me, I can't think of anything else. But anyway, usually the host of it, I think it's Jerry Lawler, has been the last couple of years. They have it live on the network this year. I can't remember if they did last year. I think they might have, and we just were down in New Orleans, so we weren't watching that anywhere. But they decided to change that because, we can't have Jerry Lawler. Didn't put him on Raw anymore, now he's on SmackDown. But still be interested to see who they actually have as the play-by-play team at WrestleMania this year. No, they're like, you know what? Here's a good idea. She's not really doing too much.
Arnold.
Oh, Arnold Schwarzenegger in the celebrity wing. I think we got everybody else.
That chick.
Oh, London Blaze. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, definitely deserving with
Larry
that.
Zbyszko.
Oh, Larry Zbyszko. That's right.
That guy. Yeah.
Fujinami. Okay. Yeah. So she's not doing too much, but God, she's a great asset to our roster. We're just gonna go ahead and have Eva fucking Marie host the Hall of Fame. That's a great call. That's solid right there. Because I can't think of 1,500 million other fucking people on your fucking roster in the fucking world that you could have.
Connor and Victor are also in that battle royal.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine with having a woman host it as long as her name is Renee Young. Because yeah, she would be deserving of hosting it because she knows her shit and she's able to go out there and not look like a fucking idiot when she's doing it. Because I think she's a great asset. I think she should be calling fucking pay-per-views and calling shows. I mean, I would rather have her doing it than fucking Booker T blabbering and shit and JBL getting annoying as shit now. So, yeah, Eva Marie gonna bore us to death and probably fuck up everybody's name and fuck up just everything, period. God damn, that's retarded. Yeah, did you pick a winner in that Divas match?
AJ and Paige.
AJ and Paige. Paige, as I like to call them. That's my name for him. Next up. Already getting to the nitty-gritty type stuff. Again, a lot of the biggest portion of this card, to me, is a lot of intriguing stuff. The build was absolute shit, but I think once you get there and see the performances, I think a lot of this is going to deliver. We have the U.S. title on the line when champion Rusev goes up against John Cena. This is obviously a rematch from Fastlane. We thought they were just going to hold off and do this at Mania, but they did pull the match off a month before. The build has been okay. Again, nothing like a lot of this really noteworthy and memorable about a WrestleMania build like we've seen back in the heyday of late 90s, early 2000s of the great builds that we really see going on into a WrestleMania. Didn't get a lot of that this year, unfortunately. But yeah, Rusev really getting over a lot on John Cena. They had the bullshit finish at Fastlane. They're going to get a decisive finish here. This is the time when a lot of these guys get to these high profile matches. You got Rusev, who's undefeated U.S. champion, dominated shit, a dominant heel coming in there, and a legit force that could be going into the future. Haven't seen Lana lately after that whole thing where they weren't going to give Cena the match, and then they were going to take Rusev out, or Cena was taking Rusev out, and Lana's like, okay, you can have it, and then she's not here anymore. I don't know. Hopefully she'll be there Sunday because she's a great asset with Rusev. As far as a mouthpiece, she's outstanding. But yeah, I look for this to be a good matchup. Hopefully a lot better than what the fuck we got at Fastlane, because I thought that was okay at best. But yeah, this is the time, like I was saying, where we have these young guys that are on the precipice of getting to that level where you start making legit making stars. Obviously, you made them by going in there and just having fucking just run over your entire fucking roster and take the U.S. title and have this dominant run. This heel champion. Who the hell was U.S. champion before him? I couldn't even begin to tell you. I have no fucking idea. Maybe Ambrose? It couldn't have been that long ago. He went in at the beginning. It was probably somebody that had it for a really short time and then just took it. I can't think. Swagger, maybe? I
Keep talking.
Quady's going to get on it. But this is the time that you want to start seeing, people get legit wins over the big established stars like a John Cena. But to me, I just don't see them pulling it off. Quady heard word of possibly Cena, taking some time off after this WrestleMania. There's word of everything going on. I heard ramblings of a bunch of different things. I know this match and the IC title match, there's a lot of talk. Sheamus, okay.
He won the Battle Royal.
Yeah, he won the Battle Royal. Ambrose was champion before that.
Yeah.
Fuck, I can't remember that shit. He's had it for a while, hasn't he? When was that?
Ambrose had it for 350 days.
Yeah, he had it for a long time. When did he beat Sheamus for it?
November 3rd.
Oh, shit, that wasn't too long ago. Fuck, how the hell did I forget that? But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be tough for me to see them going through with him getting a legit win. Because, if you have a bullshit win over John Cena at WrestleMania, no one's going to look at that and be like, oh, wow, good job. Like, we haven't seen that a million times. Somebody fucking over Cena to get a win or this and that or cheating himself to get in. You have to start legitimizing these guys and giving them legit big wins, and you can't get any bigger than beating John Cena at WrestleMania. So, yeah, would I like to see that? Yeah, I would like to see them start establishing those guys. Do I see it happening? Probably not. It's tough to say, and that's not me making the decisions. That's just me predicting the decisions. I just don't see it happening. And again, like I was trying to say, Tripp, big thing he was wanting to do is really start reestablishing those mid-cards, like the mid-card titles, the IC and the US title, like they've been trying to do for years and years. We're just talking putting on established guys. You won't get into the IC title, we'll talk about that later, but putting them on established guys to get, to build that luster of those titles back. And one of the thoughts is putting the U.S. title with John Cena. As crazy as that sounds, the 15-time champion or whatever the hell world champion he is, putting the U.S. title back with John Cena would be some crazy shit. Don't really know. I don't have it locked down for sure, but to me, a safe pick would just be to go with Cena. But the pick of, trying to set up the future is just go with Rusev and, have him get a legit fucking clean win over John Cena and give Cena some time off or whatever and have him come back, early in the summer or something like that. Whatever the case may be. But to me, I don't see it happening. So I'm going with Cena as your new U.S. champion, as crazy as that sounds.
I see Rusev win this. Like J-Man said, I see them redoing the undercard, but if you keep passing around these titles like candy, it would make absolutely no sense to hand it to Cena for a month or two, and then have Rusev win it back. I see some bullshit happening, either Lana getting involved or a DQ or something to set up Extreme Rules, which is next pay-per-view. But if they're trying to build up Rusev, having him destroy Cena, like make Cena leave on like a stretcher, and then redoing the face of the company. If Cena's like getting close to retirement, which I keep reading about, which is still kind of shocking.
What?
Yeah,
wow.
I've read that twice already.
I don't see that happening.
Neither do I, but if you can't believe everything you read on the internet.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
If you have Rusev destroy him and have Cena take time off and then come back up and just start from the bottom and just start helping these younger guys get over. Because if you beat a guy that's a 15-time champion, your name's going to go to the moon. Yep. But don't let it go, have a Reigns win or Reigns beat him. Have a Rusev or have some of these under guys like Finn Balor or Kevin Owens come in and beat him. And just have something like that. So Rusev probably will win, but it'll be interesting to see what happens after.
Yep. Next up, we have a match that I have dreamt about for a very, very long time. We have Seth Rollins going up against Randy Orton. Again, this is just another solid fucking show-stealing potential matchup that you have, in your mid-card here. Again, this is something I've dreamt about ever since I first laid eyes on Tyler Black in Ring of Honor. To me, I just felt like, a lot of their styles and things like that can blend well, and to me, I just always imagined these two having just a fucking stellar-ass match if they ever got in there. And, it's kind of been things that you lose thought of what you're going to be getting, and you kind of locked in, day by day. And then I sit there and think, God, we're going to get Seth Rollins and Randy Orton at WrestleMania. How fucking awesome is that? It's fucking awesome. Again, this easily can steal the show if given time and opportunity. The build, I have fucking hated. I cannot stand how they built this fucking matchup. You had Randy Orton, leave back in November, right before the Survivor Series that we went to. Got taken out by Seth Rollins. Perfect build for having and Randy was on fire. Was loving everything Randy was doing up until about a month or so, up until he left. He was just didn't give a shit. He took that whole fuck it attitude as he was taking as the heel. That was really just kind of very stale and wasn't working. And Randy needed rejuvenation with his character, with him in general. And he got it, and it was just people were getting behind it. It was that very anti-hero-y, Stone Cold type feeler where he just go out there and just RKO who the fuck he wants, and he was out for himself and not, playing the bitch mode that they for some reason want to have Randy Orton play, which is the last person on the fucking roster they should have play that. It just blows my mind how they have utilized Randy Orton over the past couple of years. Just fucking baffles me and pisses me off. As a huge Randy Orton fan, diehard Randy Orton fan for a very long time, pisses me off. So have him come back in at Fastlane, the pretty much predictable return that we saw there, have him just take out the Authority RKOs here and there, Rollins run away, and then you do this angle that is so fucking predictable of what it's going to be, the outcome of it's going to be, which is the exact same thing as what you got back in November. They tried to redo it. Well, we already remember that. You don't need to redo it. We remember what fucking happened. You have him come in, fucking hot as a firecracker, doing the same shit he was doing, just taking everybody out left and right. No, you have him come back in and infiltrate the Authority and act like he's back a part of it, and then a couple weeks later you have him brutalize Seth Rollins and, I wasn't back with you. It was a 5-year-old could have predicted that fucking outcome happening, where you just have him come back and not in the Authority, I'm by myself, fuck you. Just terrible booking. I just can't stand it. It just was so obvious and so easy with what you can do with Randy Orton. He is so fucking, you don't have to do anything with him. You just have him go out there, hey, be this fucking badass, malicious fucking crazy fucking person that just goes out there and attacks people and just for no fucking reason and just RKOs and kicks people in the fucking head. No, you have him be a bitch and hide behind people. What? Like, no, that's not what you do. And now you're starting to do it with Seth Rollins. It's like, fuck. Scratch all that, take all that away, put these two in the ring, give them fucking 15 to 20 minutes, and let them go attempt to steal the show, because that's easily what they could do. I am obviously so looking forward to this one, with what Seth Rollins has done over the past year, which is just pure brilliance and the MVP of WWE in 2014, and has continued to carry that torch into 2015 with the stellar work that he's put on. I mean, it's Seth Rollins. We could have said this in 2008, we could have said this in 2010, and we say it right now. This is what a Tyler Black, this is what a Seth Rollins can provide, and he is going to be a star of WrestleManias to come, and could possibly, become the new generation version of a Mr. WrestleMania that Shawn Michaels coined, and that no one will ever touch. His performances that he put on. But as far as a new generation, you put a guy, on that mantle of like, this guy can deliver and execute flawless shit every WrestleMania, and every time he's out there, I would peg it on a Seth Rollins, because this guy's going to deliver, and we've said it for years and years. So looking forward to this one. Winner, this one is one of the hardest ones for me to pick on this card. You could just go with the safe route, just have Randy, pick up a big win here and continue momentum there. To me, I'm going to go with a sneaky Seth Rollins win. Quaddy's saying this could possibly start the card. I could easily see that. I think it would be a great way, and Vince and WWE are huge on starting WrestleMania hot and having a great starting matchup, as we saw last year WrestleMania 30, with the best match on the card being the first match, which is Triple H and Daniel Bryan.
Just the entrance alone.
Oh, they were fucking amazing. So look for this to be some great stuff, and I'm going with a sneaky Seth Rollins win to maybe continue this into the future, or possibly set up a possible cash-in, which I'm starting to not even see coming for a while now, but continue that thought as far as the WrestleMania, the 4-hour spectacle goes, and be like, oh shit, you never know what could happen here, down the long run. But look for this to be some great stuff, and definitely looking forward to it.
See, I'm cool with this idea. Okay. Rollins and Orton start the match, or start the pay-per-view, officially.
After the 2-hour pre-show.
Orton wins, okay? Everyone's like, oh, Rollins lost. Orton just destroys him. Rollins comes in at the end of the night, cashes in, wins it, and then it sets up Rollins and Orton for the title from there on.
I'm cool with that.
I think everyone's cool with that.
We probably won't be able to do the review for a couple hours after we clean the semen all over the fucking basement.
Or Robert dies.
He might.
I mean, the truth.
Truth.
The
leader
I don't know.
Pro wrestling leader in videos.
What?
Robert Sports Show, the leader in sports, and he's watching. Whatever you say. Robert with his new little ending thingy. He's got there.
I'm lucky if I get to that.
He's got there. I'm going with AJ winning that bracket. I'm going with AJ winning that.
AJ Styles or Pate? Or AJ Punk or...
AJ Punk? What? AJ Lee? Yeah, AJ Lee is going to go through that whole tournament Robert made. Go with AJ Styles, the winner of the national championship of professional wrestling. Okay, so I'm picking, Robert's picking.
I see Orton winning this, and then Rollins catching it in the night. Calling it right now. Last time I called it, I was right.
Quality called it. I'm hoping he's right. Next up, another possible show stealer.
This is going to be a show stealer.
We have the ladder match for the Intercontinental title. We have Bad News Barrett, the champion, Daniel Bryan, Dolph Ziggler, Dean Ambrose, Luke Harper, Stardust, and R-Truth. A lot of random talent in here, but a lot of talent in here. One big thing that just go ahead and circle it out that I have a huge problem with is obviously the complete misuse and the underuse of a Daniel Bryan. He is the hottest commodity and has been for however long, and you bury him in a fucking 7-person ladder match. I don't get it. I mean, he doesn't have to be the main event. He doesn't even have to be in a title match. But put him in a match where you could focus on Daniel Bryan singularly. Don't bury him in there with a bunch of great talent, mind you. There's a ton of talent in here. But you bury one of the most, if not the most talented when you get in the fucking ring, who could go in there, like the Bret Harts and the Owen Harts and the Shawn Michaels and, all of those of the past, the Stone Colds and Rocks, the names go on and on, that went in there and had those fucking huge moment, go in there and technical masterpieces that you could go on and execute at a WrestleMania. Because to me, you have to have all of those, keys when it comes to, big WrestleManias. You look at, in my eyes, the two best WrestleManias, which is 17 and 19. You had, huge, great main events. You had big marquee names brought in to, establish that type of thing. You had, great spotty type matches with huge moments like that. You look at like a TLC, WrestleMania 17, and you had great technical wrestling, whether it be the main event at WrestleMania 19 with Brock and, Kurt, whether it be with Shawn and, Jericho at WrestleMania 19, WrestleMania 19, and then also you look at WrestleMania 17 with a Benoit and Angle. I mean, you look at the great technical,
You mean?
Yeah, and Angle. The great technical masterpieces that you see at a WrestleMania, or you look at a Bret and Owen that kicked off WrestleMania 10, which was a fucking 5-star classic, which was outstanding. So it's those not even big marquee matches, but it's matches you single out your great technical wrestlers to go out there and just fucking awe you with their ability to go out there and put on, which is the sport of professional wrestling, and very few do it better than Daniel Bryan. So to me, that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see a singled out showcase of sportsmanship and athleticism and competition and professional wrestling in a Daniel Bryan and a Dolph Ziggler. That's the match I wanted. That's what I wanted to see kick off this show, because it reminded me so much of what a Bret and Owen was at WrestleMania 10. It reminded me so much of what a Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho was at 19, or Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit at 17. All those great technical matches that we could see with guys that may not be on the top of the card at the time, may not be in a title match or a big showcase match, but they're out there to do what we're all here and what we all love, which is professional wrestling, and that's what those guys do, and Daniel Bryan does best. So that's just my 2 cents on that situation. Outside of that, as Quaddy said, he thinks this is going to be the show stealer. I have absolutely no doubts that this could possibly steal the show with the talent that's in here. Obviously, it's a poor man's version of a Money in the Bank ladder match that we used to see at WrestleMania, which to me is where it should be. It should be a WrestleMania. I loved it when it was there. It just added such a vibe of unpredictability. That's every time I thought about it, I was like, oh, look at this big match. Like, God damn, they have the Money in the Bank. Who the fuck's going to win that? And then you have future champion you're basically looking at right there. So that's always the moment, one of the big moments I loved of the past, 5 or 6, however many, it's almost 10 years now. WrestleManias that we saw as Money in the Bank, now they have the pay-per-view, which is a great pay-per-view, and back when they had pay-per-view buys, and they still didn't fucking do that, always got good buys. But to me, this is the poor man's version of that. But we have the IC title. Again, the build has just been fucking retarded. You're talking about all these guys want to have this title because of how prestigious and how the lineage behind it, and you're tossing it around and putting it on R-Truth's back with a fucking backpack and in bags and shit and tossing it left and right with it. you're treating it like a piece of candy. You're literally doing the exact representation of what we talk about with these titles now. They shouldn't be treated like a fucking piece of candy, and that's what you're doing with it. So to me, I'm not a fan of what they were doing there. It just looked stupid. It looked like fucking 2-year-olds fighting over a title. We'll get to that in the main event, by the way. But yeah, look for this to be great stuff. I mean, the likes of Bryan and Ziggler and Ambrose and, Harper and Barrett. I mean, there's talent in here. The Stardust and R-Truth just randomly being added, and they're not doing jack shit, especially with R-Truth. But to me, I'm going with what, a big talk of, which is reestablishing the mid-cards. If Cena gets the U.S. title, I'm going to go with Daniel Bryan winning the Intercontinental title here. I think if you're not going to showcase him in what I was saying earlier, you give him a big win here for the Intercontinental title, a title he's never held. He's held everything else WWE has to offer except for the IC title. And you want to talk about somebody who could bring lineage back to the IC title, you can't really think of anybody else better than Daniel Bryan. So still looking forward to this. Again, possible show stealer and just another solid thing that you got added on this card that we are really looking forward to.
This match has been very, exciting. But then you also have the aspect of, like J-Man said, just passing the thing around like a piece of candy, like we keep beating it. It's a fucking dead horse. And we're fucking been dead. And we keep fucking beating the crap out of it.
Raping the horse and just skinning it and fucking eating it. I didn't went that far. I did go that far. I went
Cosby.
there.
But
Cosby raped horses?
Man, what else has he stuck his
Don't
dick
go
in?
there.
What else has he stuck his dick in? Good. But I'm cool with this match, yes. And like we were talking about earlier with the Rusev and Cena match, if you want to keep the title on somebody and keep it going, keep it on Barrett. I trust Barrett winning this. I trust them continue on with Barrett. And then I see having like a Bryan and Ziggler fall out of this into like them both doing the whole tug of war and it dropping to Barrett. And then they're both saying we deserve it. And then Extreme Rules doing something where you have like a 4-way or a scramble or something.
Triple threat.
Or a triple threat or something more exciting where you can focus more on the people who deserve to be in it. A lot of these guys deserve to be in it, yes. But Truth, Stardust, Harper's was kind of, after the Wyatt thing kind of fell apart. Who else is in it? Ambrose is just fucking Ambrose being crazy. Have a 4 with that. Do something where, like Jamin said, you could focus on these guys who deserve to be in this. Unless you fucking just say, fuck it, give it to Barrett and let Bryan go after the fucking world title.
Yeah.
But with the way they have it set up, and I just thought it was like, everybody thought it was funny the way they were doing stealing the title belt, and I'm just sitting over here and not laughing.
Yeah, exactly. So you're going with Bad News Barrett, retaining the title. The Intercontinental title ladder match. Should be a some
But this is going to be, with the people they have in it, and there's no like...
Well, everybody's focusing on everybody else besides Barrett, so it's an obvious kind of...
That, and if you look at all the names in this, it's not like there's one guy that's like, he's going to win it or he's going to win it.
Right.
And like Jamin says, how the Money in the Bank used to be set up. But also, number 2, is there's really no like stupid person, like a Big Show or Kane or somebody that's like not going to obviously win. So...
Right. Next up, we're getting obviously to the big marquee matches here. First one being Triple H going up against Sting. Obviously, Sting's involvement finally with the WWE after 14 years, being WCW's diehard flag bearer and the guy of WCW. And I like how they switched it around and how they have made it, WWE's guy is Triple H, which I have no problem with Triple H being defined as WWE's guy. That makes a lot of sense. And, WCW's guy is Sting. And, Sting was finally cut his first promo leading into it. I liked it. I don't know. For some reason, it just felt good. I felt like he felt like he was ready for WrestleMania. He felt like how we should feel going into WrestleMania. You could feel the energy behind how badly he has wanted this match for years and years and years. Finally being focused on the, spectacle of professional wrestling, which, obviously is Sting, and, the bigness of his name and his legacy and his career, obviously deserves to be a part of. So you could feel how emotional he was about it, how passionate he was about finally having his moment at WrestleMania, and you can't really, offer anybody else to him as far as the bigness factor goes, as far as the Triple H. So the build for me has been fine. Here and there, it lacked a little. It kind of felt like faded off a little bit because he had Triple H starting to, obviously being the authority head, kind of being involved with Rollins and stuff and Randy's stuff. So he kind of had to do, play two hands at one time type thing. So Been fine for me. I think the involvement of, the video packages they showed with, Tripp and his face changing into Sting's face and stuff like that, I thought that was good stuff. I enjoyed it. I know a lot of people are probably going to be shitting on this and not thinking that it's going to be anything special. I don't think it's going to be fucking amazing by any means, but I think it could be some good stuff. Again, I can't say enough about what Triple H has done over the past couple of years, getting in the shape that he's gotten in, and easily, if he's showcased in these 1 or 2 type matches a year, can do that for easily 5+ years. With the shape that he's in and the work that he's put in, the effort and the match quality that he's put on, has been some great stuff. And he is the guy that's going to be the new Undertaker. Where you look at a WrestleMania, because obviously Undertaker's career is probably going to be coming to an end probably next year. I think a lot of the word has been obviously being in his home state. So you're going to be looking at a Triple H being that new Undertaker, where you get the very special big attraction matches for the next 3 or 4 or 5 years, whatever the case may be. He's going to be that guy taking that from Taker. I have absolutely no problem with that. Because you look at what you can't go out there and people can say this and that about Triple H, but you can't say that what he goes in at WrestleMania and what, especially WrestleManias and SummerSlams, that, he's really been the big parts of that he has not delivered, because he has. I think you can't really find anybody else to pull it out of Sting than a Triple H as far as the big marquee name. I think we talked about that back at Fastlane. You really can't put anybody else. There's nobody else in there. Everybody wanted to see Taker, and I'll get to something else that we might talk about a little bit later. But there's really nobody else you're going to get in the ring with and do that. So the build for me is fine. Sting looks in good shape. Obviously, we haven't seen him outside of all his Sting shirts, but looks a lot better than he did in TNA. He looks in shape. You could just tell when somebody who was out of it, because trust us, we know, who was out of it and gets in shape. You could tell that look, and he looks like he's gotten some great shape. And again, it's a guy that you may say he's 50-something years old, blah blah blah. You're focusing on him, this and that, and yeah, we want to see younger guys focus on, but these guys were younger too at a time, and Sting has never given that opportunity because being in WCW and diehard, and you can't doubt him for being loyal to his company and being loyal to WCW, and with what happened and transpired after WCW went out of business and how he felt about those situations. So he deserves this. I mean, he deserves a WrestleMania moment, and it's not the main event. It's not the marquee matchup, but it's one of them, and I definitely think he deserves it, and I think this should be some good stuff. I don't think it's going to be a fucking train wreck. A lot of people think it's not going to be a train wreck. I think it's going to be some good stuff, and Triple H will not disappoint. He's out there. If he's going to have one match, he hates having the fucking worst match, whatever the case may be, and now he's only going to have 1 or 2 matches a year. He's going to go out there and pull the shit out of him, and Sting better be ready for that, and I think he will. So I think the entrances are going to be spectacle. Obviously, Triple H, they're talking about doing some sort of Terminator type thing. They're talking about getting some scarecrows. I don't know if that'll be for Wyatt or if it would be for Sting. Probably for Sting. But yeah, those entrances would be fucking awesome to see, and yeah, I think it'll be a spectacle, and it'll be one of those matches that feels like it should be a WrestleMania, because that's what it is. So yeah, looking forward to this. As far as the spectacle nature of WrestleMania provides, a winner. I don't know how you could bring Sting in and then just have him lose to Triple H. I don't really know how you could have Sting beat Triple H. So there's really no right way here to go. Having Triple H in the shape that he's in, and how he comes off as just the shit and just a brick shit house, and how he's the guy, the measuring stick when it comes to WWE, and having a guy that, if you're obviously a diehard wrestling fan, you've seen him going to TNA and this and that, and doing stupid shit here and there, and having terrible matches and this and that, and somebody that should be done and retired come in and then take out Triple H at WrestleMania. That just seems a little ridiculous. But again, WWE cuts off the past. They don't, they start fresh with what you remember that guy being, which was the shit back in WCW. And that's what they're doing, skipping ahead 14 years. They're taking all of what we will be conceiving during this match, is like, God, fucking Sting and TNA, and how fucking terrible was that, and this and that. That is all gone. You will not, that WWE doesn't remember that portion. They remember the portion of what you remember about great Sting, which is back in the day. That's the Sting that they're trying to portray. Obviously more of a legend, more, I'm trying to say a nice way of saying older, but an older version of that. And, pretty much they're trying to portray him as WCW's Undertaker. That's what they want everybody to think. And obviously our minds are set on what we've seen in recent memory, which is all the TNA shit. So, they totally forget about that, and it's just Sting as of now, an older version of the fucking badass that was in WCW. So, I'm going to go with Sting getting the win here. As crazy as that sounds to say, but again, it's just, you can't, there's really no right answer there, but I have to give you one. It's weird for Sting to beat Triple H, but again, you don't bring Sting in just to fucking, I don't know. I guess that's just what I'm going with. But to me, I think Triple H is a guy that's like, okay, fine, we'll give Sting his, WrestleMania moment and a win here, and possibly more in the future. We'll see.
Yeah. This match has been very intriguing since Survivor Series. Whenever we saw him debut in WWE for the first time in forever, or ever, period.
Yeah.
If we actually sat here, let's say 5 years ago, 7 years ago, and talked about when we all sat here for the first time and watched Hardcore Justice and saw Sting on that pay-per-view and thought, man, wouldn't it be crazy at WrestleMania 31 if he wrestled Triple H? What would you probably think?
I'd be like, nope.
After I got the fucking breadstick out of my mouth, I'd probably say the same thing. Just pure craziness, and we're going to watch history. And if not in this match, in other matches on this card. And that's
we're watching history here for sure. Yeah,
that is what WrestleMania is, and that's what WrestleMania will be forever, is history-making events.
Yep.
And when we see Sting walk down that aisle for the first time in a WrestleMania, and you hear that bell ring for the first time, and he wrestles his first match in WWE, it's pretty much writing his name into the Hall of Fame for the finally.
Yeah.
And I see, and you're going to argue with me because you have a better idea, which I totally agree. I see this being it. I see him coming in, facing Tripp, having that match, and then Monday be like, I'm done.
I could easily see that. Yeah,
and just the way, it also depends on what kind of shape he is if he takes that shirt off. But if you wrestle with that shirt off...
there's no fucking way in the world they will let him wrestle with that fucking shirt off. No way.
It all just depends. And who wins this? I think all of us, fan-wise, will win this.
Yeah.
If you, like James said, if you think about what we saw in that TNA in that 14 years... Not in 14 years, because he was okay at the beginning of TNA.
Yeah.
He was pretty good, but for the last 7 to 10 years...
I don't think that math adds up. For the last, 4 to 5 years, I would definitely say.
Yeah, it makes
5
sense.
years would make more sense.
Okay, 5 years. Let's go with 5 years.
Yeah.
And he just, it was just kind of at the mode of the way everybody was in TNA. It was just fuck this shit.
Yeah.
So, and then him rebuilding himself, leaving TNA, rebuilding himself, getting in great shape, contacting WWE, or getting in contact with WWE to get a contract to wrestle.
Yeah.
I'm just so... It still baffles me of me seeing Sting for the first time ever in my life at a WWE Survivor Series.
Yeah.
So, I dipped on Saved by Robert. 1. And, yeah. Bulging penis. 2. This match is... I see this match as being... I don't know. There's a lot of matches on this card. This is the one I'm going to look forward to.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, it should be really intriguing. And again, there's no right way to say who the fuck comes out on top of this. Because, does it look believable that Sting should be Triple H? No. But does it, make a lot of sense to bring him in and hype him up so much and then just have him fucking job out and lose at WrestleMania?
Are you people still out there?
I think they are. They're intrigued.
We're an hour.
I feel like we're flowing well.
We're an hour.
Are we? All right. We'll get there. It's going to get a little bit longer here.
Yeah.
Next up.
If you want to pause us,
a little bit.
We don't blame you.
Yeah, we don't. Next up, here we go. We have a match that was a lot talked about, possibly happening over the months getting into WrestleMania. There was a lot of talk about, would this guy be healthy enough? Would he be ready to go? Would he even want to go to get back on the show that is his? I mean, it's the personification of him, which is The Undertaker. We have The Undertaker going up against Bray Wyatt here. Really, as soon as you see Bray Wyatt come in, instant dream match thought is The Undertaker. And that's what we're getting here. Absolutely deserving of what Bray Wyatt has done with his character and the total 180 full circle that he has come from fucking Husky Harris being a no-name in the fucking Nexus. And totally 180 coming in and now being one of the most intriguing and interesting and mystical and supernatural characters that we have ever seen. And it was all him. I mean, this is all him. I mean, there's ideas thrown around here and there to what he's going to... You have to make it your own. and goddamn, has he made it his own? And does he deserve to be in there with the Undertaker WrestleMania? Some may say no. Some may say, this is the same thoughts that Robert had as soon as he first saw Bray Wyatt. Oh my God, who's this fucking bearded Doug Dynasty looking blah 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 blah. There are probably a lot of people out there that say that he doesn't deserve to be in there against the Undertaker at WrestleMania. We two sitting right here couldn't be more fucking opposite than any of those people, because holy shit, does Bray Wyatt deserve to be in there? Absolutely. Because again, this is the same what goes with Rusev and Cena, where a young guy going in there with an established guy to make his name. And if you don't think that Bray Wyatt is going to be up for this fucking challenge, then you're insane, because yeah, he will be. And again, this is another one that a lot of people are saying and doubting and are skeptical of how this match is going to go. I think it's massively underrated as far as what work we're going to see in this matchup. You have to remember, with what The Undertaker's provided, in the end run of, his WrestleMania matches over the past, 5 to 6 years, with, starting with, even going all the way back to, the Randy Ortons and the Edges that he had great matches with, and then starting the trilogy, or not the trilogy, but the consecutive run of WrestleManias that just saw outstanding and some of the greatest matches in wrestling history, starting at 25 with Shawn and ending Shawn's career at 26, and going in at 27 and having a great match with Triple H, and then having the end of the era Hell in a Cell match at 28. At 20, did I say 27? 27 with Triple H, and then 28 again with Triple H in the Hell in a Cell, and then 29 with CM Punk, which is CM Punk.
We're not allowed to say that name here.
CM Punk.
We're not allowed to say that name here, guys.
His name.
He's not with our company anymore.
With CM Punk, which was fucking phenomenal, and another dream matchup occurrence that we could have only wished for. And I rewatched that the other day with fucking Living Color playing into the ring and everything.
God, I forgot about that.
Shouldn't have done that. Maybe I almost want to cry a little bit. Why did you do it to us? Yeah. So and now getting here with Bray Wyatt, an established or a guy that is wanting to establish his name as he says, the new face of fear. And to me, that win, lose, or draw, that is what we're getting out of this, because this is the culmination and this is the fruition of that character and the new generation of the Undertakers and the Mankinds and the Kanes or whatever, those type of characters that are a little off center, and obviously the Undertaker being the mystical and the supernatural and the conscience of the WWE. You're building the new version of that with Bray Wyatt. We've said it time and time again. Cannot say how much I'm looking forward to this matchup enough. I obviously want to see a Bray Wyatt victory here. To me, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't see them going, 2 losses with Taker here. I see only being that one blemish on his record. Unfortunately for Bray Wyatt, because we'd love to see a Bray Wyatt be that blemish, or a CM Punk, or an Edge, or Randy Orton, or any of those type guys that were the young upstart guys that were getting to the, and even an Edge at 24. I can't go back to that match enough. Love that one too. Seeing a guy to be the blemish on that record for The Undertaker, but a Bray Wyatt would have been another perfect guy for that situation. But let alone, holding The Undertaker off for this entire build, only having Bray Wyatt build it. It wasn't one of the best Undertaker builds, but it was Undertaker not being there to build one of his matches. It was all Bray Wyatt. Can't say enough of the work that he's put on to keep everyone interested without having The Undertaker there. The only Undertaker sighting we got was the fucking bolt of lightning to the rocking chair and Bray Wyatt playing off that. You could give him nothing. He can make a fucking phone book interesting, because that's just the character and the promo and the charisma and everything that is about is Bray Wyatt. So deserving for him. I hope he gets that culmination of getting to where that character and where he deserves to be, with the work that he's put in and the immense talent that Bray Wyatt has, because we want to see him be that guy. He deserves it. He's a perfect person for it. The character's new. It has an edge to it. It's very vibrant. It just is so full of life. Every time you see Bray Wyatt, it's just, you're just locked and glued to whatever the hell he's doing. Just like how you first saw The Undertaker, how you continue to see The Undertaker throughout his amazing career. So cannot wait for this. I'm going to go with Taker getting the win here. Again, a lot of speculation. We'll run out of a shit ton of time, but possible outcome of going into next year's. They're talking about possibly having his retirement match there. Again, I don't see him going 2 losses here. I see Bray Wyatt having a great performance and solidifying that character. You could do it in a loss because you've done it with tons of other people in a fucking loss. You put him in there with The Undertaker and you said, hey, I had a fucking WrestleMania match with The Undertaker, come get some. That's almost a huge victory anywhere else. So hopefully we get the solidification of that Bray Wyatt character, get a lot of great storytelling, I would think, in this match, a lot of the ending matches here. But my thought, as far if you're going to retire The Undertaker, they're talking about possibly doing it next year or next year at WrestleMania 32 in his home state of Texas. Doing a possible thing with that they did with Rock and Cena going into WrestleMania 28, which was doing it a year in advance and having Sting come out after a victory over Triple H and Undertaker after a victory over Bray Wyatt, and having Sting be like, you know what, our careers are ending up here, and if we're both gonna have our last hurrah, why don't we do it together? It's everybody's dream, and don't even fucking hide it. It's everybody's dream scenario of Sting and The Undertaker. Let's go do it. You could have Undertaker be a judge in a very like you don't deserve it. You could go that route and have Sting try to deserve it, or you could go fuck it, let's do it and set it up a year in advance. That's something you could set up a year in advance. Unlike Rock and Cena, where people are like, okay, yeah, we wanted to see it, should have happened, but okay, that's what we get out of it. So that's my input on what we could see there. Again, discussions can go on days for days, but Taker and Wyatt, can't wait. I know he's going to talk about it here, but I'm going to go with Taker the victory. But the biggest part is solidifying Bray Wyatt as what he deserves and as what we want to see him, which is the new face of fear and that new mystical, supernatural talent that will carry it on what The Undertaker did better than anybody else years and years to come. So
this is my main event. I really don't
care.
Mine too. What
this is our main event.
This has to be with the shit that coming up next. What was it, Fastlane when Wyatt challenged him?
Yep.
When we saw that casket at Fastlane, we all knew instantly what the fuck was going on. It was like we had what was going on in our minds. We talked about it multiple times. We talked about it after last year's. We talked about it on the way home. I remember that.
Yep.
Because we talked about how they could bring back Taker and do something so intriguing that people would want to watch him again. And this is it. Hands down, this is it. Perfect person, perfect scenario, perfect setup, all by one guy, Bray Wyatt. Hands down, best talker in WWE, right? Or best talker in professional wrestling right now.
Be hard to doubt. It'd be hard to doubt as far as his character goes and everything. But I mean, yeah, it'd be hard.
Because he right now, you may call me crazy. He's in my top 10 of best talkers in history.
Wouldn't have a problem.
Because the way, like J-Man said, and I agree with him 100%, is the way he set this up alone. Because we didn't see any Taker except for that lightning bolt, and he still blew it up. You didn't see anything written here.
Yeah.
You all saw it come from here. You don't see anybody handing promos or handing what to say. They literally, I think they just go, hey, Wyatt, you're going to cut a promo here. Go.
Yep.
Because there's nothing with this character that needs help. And when he beats Taker Sunday, it's going to be fucking nuts. Because that's 2 in a row, and I don't see him going next year. I see this being it, him going to the Hall of Fame next year, done.
If that's the case, it better fucking be main event.
That's why I'm saying it's our main event. Because if you want to continue on with this Bray Wyatt character, have him beat Taker, have him challenge whoever wins a fucking shit title, whatever comes out of that, and just fucking continue on and let him be the real fear or face of fear, and let him have the title, and let him just go something fucking crazy.
Yeah. Because to me, Bray Wyatt produced with this build that we talked about of the entire WrestleMania, which was lackluster. He provided the one moment, the couple moments, that really felt WrestleMania worthy, like, holy shit, let's do this. This last week's promo with the fucking lightning and the thunder in the background as he was cutting that fucking promo was fucking amazing. I mean, it just... Every single time, people could say, like, it's just blabbering about nonsense and this and that. Yeah, you're glued to the fucking screen listening to that nonsense,
but
whatever the fuck you say.
If you think of the nonsense he's talking about, if you actually sit down...
Oh, if you read through it? Yeah, I do too.
If you, like, I watch it, and then I go back and read what he says. And if you actually read some of the shit he says, it's so fucking nail on the head, it's sad. And all you fucking sheep that fucking jumped the bandwagon after the whole... Oh, he's a Duck Dynasty guy. What the fuck is this guy? He's going to be the next mankind. You can all go fuck yourself after this.
Yep.
And it's been a while since I've done this. And I feel it coming out.
Uh-oh.
Because if you see all these fuckers in these Bray Wyatt t-shirts and that have no idea what the fuck's going on with this guy.
Hold up their cell phones for the
fucking hold up the cell phone. Fucking whenever he debuted NXT, whenever you had the Wyatt family, and all these guys are like, who the fuck are these guys? They're a bunch of fucking hillbillies. They don't deserve this shit. He is one of those guys that God, it's fucking...
Uh-oh. Quady's getting intense. Bow tie's going bye-bye.
He's one of these guys that no matter what he does in WWE, he's gonna be another face of the company. Because you have the fucking John Cena types, the oh I love you, the Dolph Ziggler's, the Daniel Bryan's, the guys that you could jump behind the most. And you have the guys that, oh he's a glamour guy, I'm gonna marry him, blah blah. Then you have the fucking demented guys. The guys that are like crazy, like us. The Dean Ambroses, the Bray Wyatts, the guys that will fucking go ape shit on somebody if you fucking cross them wrong. Yep. Pretty much me, not necessarily you.
No.
But
nice.
And if you have these, guys, and you just like, oh, these guys are gonna be stupid. They're gonna be gone in a month. No, these fuckers. If you actually read some of these, like some of the things he says, of follow me, find me, motherfuckers. You guys are so fucking bandwagon jumping. It's so sad that. You guys are like, oh, Bray Wyatt, he's not going to be anything. Fucking 2 months later, I have all of his shirts, and look at this poster of him, and oh my god, I'm in love with him. Motherfucker, fucking get your head out of your ass. Because when you have these fucking flashlights out, we're sitting there just in awe. Because that's what Bray Wyatt does to you. Like, you say he talks nonsense, and you sit there, and you're just like, glued to TV. Oh my god. And then you have these fucking promos where he fucking talks and the lightning goes off. Or the urn. Or the fucking shit where he challenges Taker. Or he comes out in a fucking casket. You know how many fucking people that shit on that? Or it's like, that's disrespectful to Taker. Or that's disrespectful to Paul Bearer. Blah, blah. It's fucking Bray Wyatt getting in your head. Because you know what? After all that happened, what did you talk about? After Fastlane, what did you talk about? You didn't talk about that main event. You didn't talk about Sting and fucking Triple H. You talk about Bray Wyatt coming out to fucking... just like Taker does.
Yep. And they'll all be glued to the screen Sunday, too. And no matter the outcome, no matter what, you're going to
blow me, sheep. Blow me.
You will see the culmination of the new face of fear, Bray Wyatt, this Sunday, no matter the outcome. And couldn't be more deserving, and we were there since day one. Next up, WWE's main event. For the WWE World Championship, your main event of WrestleMania 31, we have champion Brock Lesnar going up against Roman Reigns. Yes, this has been the thought, it's been the plan, it's been in motion for quite some time now. We had Royal Rumble go the way it was, one of the worst Royal Rumble outcomes in matches and fucking debacle that was. We had Roman Reigns get his what was the word I'm trying to say? Get his approval from The Rock. So you got the star quality approval of, this is the next guy. Roman Reigns is the next guy. Had him going there at Fastlane against one of the best technical professional wrestling, fucking amazing athletes and everything you have to competitors, and a Daniel Bryan, and get his approval from the great professional wrestler and the working ability of a Daniel Bryan. And it just made me cringe. That made me cringe even more, and having him come out the next night and Daniel Bryan be like, you know what? We went out there and you were better than me. I mean, I literally don't know how he didn't fucking vomit in his own fucking mouth to go out there and do that. It has been the most unnatural, most unorganic, flowing feeling main event, and one of the most, if not the fucking worst, or the most terrible fucking builds to a title match in WrestleMania history, and main event in WrestleMania history. This is just god-awful bad shit. 2 words for you. If it weren't for these 2 fucking words, it would guarantee be the worst. Because if you didn't have this man fucking involved to build this shit and make people care, then Paul fucking Heyman. 3 words. Paul fucking Heyman. That's all I've got to say about this. Because he made you at least feel like this should be the main event of WrestleMania. At least feel like we should give a shit about fucking Roman Reigns being in the match with fucking Brock Lesnar. He made you give a shit. As Quaddy said, you talk about the best talkers, you definitely talk about a Bray Wyatt, and you're gonna fucking talk about Paul Heyman in that same light, because he makes you give a shit. He fucking makes you, by just talking, by just getting on the mic and being one of the best talkers. That's that's the care that I have about this main event, is the work that Paul Heyman put on for this build. So cannot say enough about him. Fucking should just go in the Hall of Fame and just introduce himself, fucking induct himself, and then just go out with the fucking microphone and just fucking drop it. Because that's the best way to do a Paul Heyman induction into a fucking Hall of Fame, because he should be in there. If you talk about great talkers in the history, no doubt about it, one you're going to talk about is Paul Heyman, because he is the reason that he at least made you feel like this is worthy of being the main event of WrestleMania. So can't say enough about fucking Paul Heyman, and I know Quaddy will say the exact same thing and same condolences about that, the greatness and the brilliance that is the Paul Heyman, because we and all of you out there know the exact same thing, because he's the reason that, this even fucking should matter. Yeah, so again, Paul Heyman going out there putting over Roman Reigns is just this Samoan shithouse and blah, 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 and yeah, as great as Paul Heyman is, nobody's believing it, nobody's caring. We talked about it time and time again of how the Roman Empire just seems like it can't get the blueprint started, can't get the formulation plans to get that empire built up, because nobody wants to be a part of it. Nobody gives two shits about being a part of the Roman Empire, as gay and fucking faggot as that sounds. It's just WWE's desperate attempt to make their new star, make their new face of the company, and it's so fucking forced and just gagged down our fucking throats. It's unbelievable. Big news, which I think is good news, which is the huge fucking news of Brock Lesnar re-signing with WWE. Did it on SportsCenter. 3-year deal. Did you hear that? 3-year deal for Brock Lesnar with WWE. I know he's only had like fucking 10 matches in 2 or 3 years, however long he's been there, but huge acquisition. Who knows the money that they threw at Brock Lesnar to keep him away from going to UFC? Of course, he said that it wasn't, the money talking. He said, I wanted to go back and fighting, but it wasn't for me at the age I'm at, and this and that. So, Brock probably got thrown a fucking truckload and just dumped it right in his backyard and be like, all right, we'll go ahead and stay here then, I guess. So that makes this total unpredictability factor of this matchup even more unpredictable, because of the thoughts of what Triple H has said, which is he is totally not behind Roman Reigns as being the guy. This has been Vince's guy, and he's fucking thrown him to the goddamn over the moon to get him over and be the guy. Like, okay, everybody believe that this is going to be the guy. Nobody gives a shit. And Triple H is God. Once Vince gets out of the way, it's going to be in some good hands once Tripp gets there, because he's like, nope, nobody gives a shit. His popularity is going to go down the shitter. And as it continues, it's still going down the shitter as we speak, and has been. Doesn't want to do that. Wants to keep the title on Brock. Wants to continue that run as the dominant champion that Brock has been on, and that spectacle feel of that. Because again, it's going to be a failure with whatever you do with Roman Reigns. And to me, if I had to say, who's going to come out of this on top, I would say you probably just have to go with the stubborn pick of, going with what WWE has been delivering, and say that's probably going to be Roman Reigns. The intriguing pick is, go with Lesnar, see where they go after that. To me, I think obviously the crowd is going to turn on Roman Reigns. It's a WrestleMania crowd. It's wrestling fans that are there. They're not going to give two shits about Roman Reigns, as everyone shouldn't. The match, who the fuck's going to carry who? That's the story, that we've talked about. Who the hell is going to make this anything worthy of the WrestleMania main event? And the answer, no one. No one is going to carry anyone, and that's why the match quality won't matter. It's all about, that's what I said to Quaddy at the start of the show. Yeah, have your little entrances, get all whatever, fucking fun little shit you're going to do and all your neat little entrances. Just go to the last 5 minutes of the match, because that's all I give a shit about. Don't try to tell me that this is going to be, this could be something special. No, it's not. It's not going to be something special. It's going to be a fucking clusterfuck sandwich beyond belief. Just take me to the last 5 minutes of this to see what this outcome goes, to see if they do some screwy shit. Talk about Heyman turning on Lesnar, going with Reigns. Talk about possible cash-ins. Talk about just going one way or another, just going with Reigns or just going with Lesnar. I have no fucking idea what's going to say, or what's going to happen here, so I have no idea what to say. So I'll just let it be the unpredictable feeling that is going on here, because that's the only noteworthy thing I have to say. If one is noteworthy thing is Paul Heyman, the other noteworthy thing is it's unpredictable, because adding in that signing of Lesnar and going on into the future with WWE still having Brock Lesnar, that's intriguing as shit, and that makes this unpredictable as all get out. So winner, I can't really pick one for you because it's unpredictable. Is all get out. So that's one good thing we have going about this as far as the main event goes and what should deliver as your best fucking match that you're going to deliver all year at WrestleMania in your main event. That's not what you're getting here at all. So to me, it's going to be a lot of stuff coming down. It's going to be some great stuff down this card, and then it's going to kind of fall off the face of the earth, in my opinion, of what's going to go here, because it's going to be scary what we're going to deliver as far as match quality goes and this and that. It's not going to be good. It's going to be, it is what it is. But the finish of what happens at the end of this matchup is what I'm going to be intrigued about, because can they go a right way? Absolutely. Can they go the way we want to see it and just have who gives a shit who fucking wins and have Seth Rollins cash in the title or cash in and win the title and have the MVP of WWE over the last year be your new champion and be your new face of the company? Fuck yeah, that's what we want. Probably not what we're going to get, but it could go some bad routes, and let's just hope it doesn't go that way. Let's hope it goes the lesser of two evils route, because we're probably not going to get the best route. But this is just, it's going to be something.
Seth Rollins.
Just high five that. High five that for Quaddy. I'm going that route too. That's what I want. No matter the outcome in the main event, WrestleMania will be something that we will always be looking forward to. And this Sunday, we're looking forward to for sure. Just there it is. Just there it is. Lemonade sheep wearing motherfuckers over here. Yeah, should be some great stuff. I think a lot of this card is going to deliver, and I think a lot of this, the undercard looks great, and the main event, unpredictable as shit. The big marquee matches of a Triple H and Sting and Undertaker and Bray Wyatt is going to be spectacles, some great storytelling. You have some great, mat work you could see in a Seth Rollins and a Randy Orton as far as a great, classic, and you have a big, giant fucking train wreck of spots and awesome-ass fucking just talent. In that IC title match, Cena Rusev could be some good stuff. So there's a lot of big factors here and a lot of things that can make this a very noteworthy WrestleMania, whether good or bad. Whether the outcome comes out like what a lot of things are predicting, whatever the case may be, we're going to be eyes glued as we always are for the biggest show of the year, which is WrestleMania. So for my part, Quaddy, he's off in the abyss of the Pulse Dungeon. I am J-Man. Be sure to check out our review of WrestleMania 31 after the pay-per-view Sunday. Yeah, it's going to be some good stuff. What time are we at? It's fucking late. It's almost bedtime. Gotta get to sleep. For a part of Quaddy, I am J-Man, and thank you for watching another edition of Pro Wrestling Pulse, the Pulse, Professional Wrestling World.